Okay, hello. It's me, Luzakr, and this is Rayman Raving Rabbids. Run. So let's start. Let's just begin. This is GBA game. So as you can see, there is a BIOS of this. So Rayman Raving Rabbids. Probably you have heard of Rayman franchise already. There are some nice runs of it. Probably not this one, and even so, probably on the PC version. This is GBA. This is slightly different. This kind of follows the original plan for this game. Let's delete the save and let's start the run. So it's gonna start now. So 3, 2, 1, and go. There's gonna be a couple of cutscenes. I'm gonna explain the game, how it was created a little bit later, because the boss fights are quite easy. So there's not much stuff going on in the background. So we skip this and we have to escape the jail from the Rabbids, as the name says. As you can see, this is a platformer, not like the PC version where there are mini games. So this is quite different. This follows the original idea of this game, how it was meant to be. But for now, we have to escape the jail because Rabbid got us. We have to collect some lamps, and they're gonna be important later. And yeah, that's this for now. Murphy is gonna tell us some tips, but of course we skip all of them. Now I take damage to pick this barrel faster, because otherwise we would have a special animation that takes a lot of time. Not that much, but second to pick it up and throw it away. Okay, we escaped the jail, almost. There's a boss here. It's pretty simple. He's just going at us and he's gonna throw rocks at us. And the only thing to remember is just to look at him and make sure you have him on sight, because otherwise he's gonna slow down for some reason. He's gonna be slower. So we have to be close to him and look at the rocks he's throwing at us. So basically, after Rayman 3, developers wanted to do like Rayman 4, the another 3D platformer, but the idea was scrapped. You can see on the YouTube the ideas for that game. Now I can get some damage. That's not a big problem. There was some idea for Rayman 4, but it was scrapped, and later it was made to be Rayman Raving Rabbids. Maybe you could remember Rayman 4, Rayman Raving Rabbids. There was trailers for it, especially for the Wii version, where Rayman was like riding the spiders, the huge birds, and he was fighting the rabbits. That was the original idea. Apparently it was scratched. We go with this boss here. Apparently this idea was scratched for some reason, and the mini games were created, and this GBA version is following the original idea of the fighting the rabbits and the costumes that I'm gonna present you later. And yeah, we finished the boss. We were going with him because at the end of the boss fight, the camera is following us and the rabbit that was steering this monster. So it's faster to just go with this boss near him, so the camera doesn't have to move. This is the first world, the pencil, the toy world, I will say. We have to collect some lamps. We're gonna need 150 at some point. In this category, we only collect 150 for like first world. Later, we don't really care. I'm gonna show you why. It's simply because we warp at the places, and for other stuff, we can skip the requirements. So this is the first costume. We change it. This is a little trick. Basically, we kick the pencil and it goes down. That's our first costume, our first power. And other costumes gives different powers in different worlds. Sadly, their these costumes doesn't really do much. In other words, they're usually like only for concrete words in concrete places, so it doesn't give you that much. But yeah, in original game you could remember some of these costumes, especially later ones, maybe not this one. That was in the trailer I was talking about. Okay, so this is the first ward. We collect some lamps here. Basically, most of this run is routing which lamps to collect the fastest. In other categories, it's quite a little bit more complicated. Here, we just need to know which lamps are faster, which are not. For example, we take a different path in this level, but there are a lot of lamps, so it's really worth it. And we collect them. So yeah, we went through the first level. This is the second level. We're gonna use the costume here again. I get hit on purpose, because if we get hit, we change the costume faster a little bit, so it's actually worth to it is faster to get hit when changing the costumes. So that's the interesting part. And some enemies we're just going to get hit because it's faster to just go past them. In this scenario we would have to charge up two strong attacks, and it would take a lot of time to take him down. Here's another trick. Normally there's a mini game here, but we can skip it just by pressing the menu and replacing it. We can go through small invisible walls like this one. I did that in the jail level. Here's another trick. Because I used the costume in a certain way, I could completely skip that part. We use a sponge and we're gonna leave this level. Now the racing minigame. The racing minigames are usually very long and they take a lot of time, but here we can use a trick, of course, and we can do them really fast. I'm gonna show you how it looks like, firstly. So basically we just made a third lap. This level basically works. There's a line that checks if you pass the lap. That's basically it, but the line doesn't go from edge to edge. So if you go here, game doesn't recognize you that you went backwards, so it counts as an extra lap. So it's pretty fast to do it. And also we skip the boss of that part, because if we enter the level and we move Rayman, the next level is being activated. In this part, this is frame perfect trick. You can actually jump from it. I'm gonna try to show it, but yeah, it's frame perfect. It's like it can save a lot of time. Or like this one, just for the frame you can jump from this, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it happens, but it apparently happens. It can save in this part 18 seconds, so it's kind of worth it. Okay, so this is the second ward, the forest ward. Here we're gonna use another costume, not in this level, because we skip the part when it's being used. We can jump like this to make it slightly faster. We can skip this part and just jump through this. The world record for this game is 23:32 by me. Not many people play this nowadays, only me. But I would recommend it. It's not really that hard of a run. Some parts can be challenging, but I would say it's one of the easier runs. But I think for some people it can be really enjoyable just to play kind of chill runs. to be completely honest, I'm not that really heavy of a speedrunner. There are some games that I like and I decided to speedrun them, and this is one of the better example. It's not that deep and hard, but there are some tricks that you can use. And it can make a run a little bit more interesting. There's a category, no warp. Warping is just going from level to another level. But the wrong warp can send you in different place. There's a category that doesn't allow you to do it. And that category is a little bit harder. You have to manage the lamps, etc. Now the other costume, gum, and you can jump. That's basically the whole power. I'm gonna show you just now. The second usage of it, you can only defeat this enemy by this costume, and I took damage on purpose to change to Rayman once again. During other costumes you can do many things. You cannot climb, you cannot hit other things. So basically these power-ups, these costumes, are only really useful in just one place. Attack and we change to Rayman again. So it's not worth it to just keep those. The exception is gonna be the boss fights, but I'm gonna show it to you later. You can skip this like this. Okay. Let's climb. So basically there are 3 more power-ups, the costumes I mean. We're gonna only see one of them, and only in the boss fight, so we're not gonna really will see them. Actually, okay, there's gonna be a next costume that's helpful for the another boss, so that's the other part. With the wrong warp, you could practically skip whole game. The problem is playing here normally, I would say at some point, gives you some costumes that you need to get at some parts. So we have to go through second and third world to get the appropriate power up for the fourth world boss fight. Okay, that's second world, and now it's the spike boss that I call him. Change the costume and we throw his bomb back at him, and we have to dodge the spikes, and that's basically it. The spikes are always going the same way, so you can actually write them down. I have them written, so down, and it's gonna be up, up, down, up, down. So as I've said, it's really easy run to manage. The only hard part was the frame perfect trick that I was trying to show you before. I did it quite nicely. Okay, now we go to the third world. We're not gonna spend much time on it. We're gonna do 2 races in this, and that's basically it. And we're gonna go to the boss fight. So the idea of this race is the same. So we stick to the wall, back, stick to the wall, back, and that's the end of the level. The thing with the races is, if you start on the race and go to another level, you start the race. So in our scenario, we will start that level that we were playing, but because we start with the race, for some reason, game still keeps on this part. So we finish this level and we can enter now the boss fight. We're gonna use the new power-up of the granny. It's not really that interesting. We just throw a carrot, and this rabbit's gonna look at it, want to check it, and we're gonna throw this bomb on him, and that's basically it. It's maybe even easier boss fight, especially if you remember the how how he throws those spikes. The next boss fight is gonna be quite challenging. Hopefully I'm gonna make it first try. It's also a very short run. As you can see by even estimation, I'm gonna probably do it faster. We'll see, because there's a wrong warp, and if you fail it, or the game decides that you fail it, the game crashes and we have to start the game all over again. So that's the annoying part, because it feels quite random. It's really not, but it's practically random. It's very weird. I'm gonna show it to you just now, because we're gonna perform it right after this boss. And we need this power up right here. Otherwise, we could do this warp that I'm gonna do now, any time of the playthrough, but without this, yeah, and the game crashed. We have to open the game once again. It can unfortunately happen. I hope it won't happen that much. Basically, what you have to do is to press 2 buttons and you're gonna warp to another level. Hopefully it's gonna only happen once and I'm not gonna start a new game. That will be very bad. Okay. We can do it from any level, like this one. And once again, okay. Let's open this again. Hopefully it's gonna be the last one and the last time. It can take some time, but there are some ways to make it better, but I've seen that it's really random at times. So that's the only issue that you may get in any percent. And again, okay. Usually it never happens like that, but oh well. I'm not lucky this time. In other categories like Hando or any percent no warp, you don't have to do it, so maybe the other categories would be better for you to start, because it can get quite annoying. Even if the other categories are harder to learn, because you have to manage the lambs. And again, I'm just gonna hope it's not gonna take like forever. Yeah, that's basically it. Kind of RNG, to be completely honest. Of course, in the actual run, you can restart the run. You can restart the game, and the run is gonna be valid. So, if it happens to you, it's not gonna be a problem. Let's hope. And again, hopefully that's the last time. Yeah, that's basically it. Let's do it again. Maybe I'm unlucky in this word. It shouldn't really matter from which word you start, but... Oh, now it worked, finally. And we warped to the 4-4 word. Maybe it does matter when you start the word. So yeah, after 5th try, it's not the worst, but yeah, of course I would restart this game, this run, in normal situation. But yeah, after this level, I'm gonna show you where we are. The next part is gonna be basically the boss fight. of this world. So we skipped most of this world, and we went to the practically the fastest level of this world. So, and there's, like I've said before, category no warp, and that this isn't allowed. This warp isn't allowed because it was found quite recently. Okay, now it's not quite recently, but it's the newest part. And we're here, and we're gonna go to the boss fight, which is quite challenging. I'm gonna now change the costume. Oh, because we restarted, the costume is in a different place. I'm gonna hit him with the guitar, change to Rayman, hit the button and try to hit him right away, and it worked. This boss now is gonna be one cycle. It can be challenging at the beginning. Oh no! Okay. I basically done it, but that was almost close, but apparently not enough. Basically, we have to throw him into the spikes here. It wasn't the worst, to be honest, but you can do it, as I said, in one cycle, and that would be perfect. But trust me, the worst can happen, because this rabbit, if he touches you, he one-shots you, and that's basically it. We go to the last world, the same one we escaped from. Actually, the second level of this world is the same as the first time. We just have a new costume to escape it. And the previous boss that we just watched is why we don't warp from the very start of the run, because we need a guitar costume. Otherwise it would be impossible to progress forward. There are plans to make a new oh no. Okay, that's fine. There are plans to make a new category, new game plus, that all the costumes are available at the start. That will skip most of the game. Okay, we have to wait here for the cycle for this rock. Maybe I'm gonna be able to show you. There's a rabbit here. No, we're gonna have to kill him, and let's pick this barrel. Hopefully, yeah, it hit. So the world record is 23:32. But right before I was presenting you this game, I was practicing to see if everything's alright, and I did a run and I PB'd, so world record, by a minute. So currently it's almost 22:32. It's not yet verified, so it's not like settled yet. We changed the costume. That's the first level that I was talking about. Now we just have this costume, so we can skip from some parts, and basically we can just exit this level in different direction. So basically everything is the same. You throw a barrel here, change the costume, and here we're not gonna change it. We barely survived it, but we can actually do it without changing the costume, because changing the costume actually takes a lot of time. This is kind of a race, quite of speedy mini game, but you have a lot of time. You shouldn't have any problems to finish it in a time, even if you're playing Hando. Developers made it easier than it looks like. Now we get hit, to skip those animations. You can skip those animations only with the barrel. There are other pickups that you can do, but only the barrel gonna work, because if you try to do it with like the ball or the grape, the items are gonna lag and you're gonna have to do it again. Okay, that's the second to last part. We're gonna be flying here a lot. There are some ways to speed it up, because flying down it takes a lot of time. We just can hit the ground and fall down, which saves actually a lot. We're gonna fall down here. And just go through here. This is the only part that you have to play 2 times for the hand run, because there are lamps up and down. You just have to remember the layout of this level. It's quite a unique one. Let's go. And there's gonna be a barrel, so we take damage. No animation, let's go forward and here. Now the last boss. There is some trick. Basically how it works, he's gonna shoot us. There's gonna be a blue lamp. Let's hit his core. Now the mini bunnies are gonna show up. It's 3rd, 4th, 5th. And just for a frame, the blue lamp is showing up, so we can pick it up, maybe 2 frames. It's really short, and we can only do that each second cycle. We have to play it normally, then pick it up just by standing here and destroying those rabbits, and then we have to do it normally. I did it. No, one more. Yeah. That's basically it. We have to kill those. Now it's a normal cycle, I would say, and that way. There's one invisible rabbit, and we count, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we jump. And that's the last hit, and we kill him. And that's basically the end of the run, and here we go. Skip this, and that's time. 26:41, which is quite nice. I think it's like still top 5, because there aren't many runs, to be honest. I would recommend you to try it and play it sometime. Yeah, and that's basically it. Thank you for watching and spending some time with me. And I'm gonna let that go to commentators and the host. Yes, let's go.